there everyone, and welcome back. Today I have a Let's Decorate. This is an apartment building. It has 3 one-bedroom, kind of small apartments that would mostly be for, say, single or maybe couples who are professionals and don't really have a lot of time to spend at home and don't really have a need for a big place. So you can see I've put a parking lot out front here, and the apartments are empty, as in if you were to walk into a vacant apartment. So basically the bathrooms and the kitchens are in place, as well as the fixtures in the basement that you'll see here in just a minute. But this would be like if you were just going to move into an apartment. They are all 3 vacant, but again we have the bathrooms and the kitchen, which are just plain, just with your countertops and appliances and bathtub, sink, and toilet there. So today I'm going to take you along with me as I decorate this apartment building. Again, it's 3 small one-bedroom apartments, and in the basement we have a vending machine here and just a garbage can. We have storage bins, 1 for each apartment, and I love that rusty cage-looking door look because it just looks so real. Each tenant would have a freezer. We have a washer and dryer downstairs for all the tenants to use, and each apartment has its own hot water heater. And then over here I've tucked just a little closet for the weather machine and a vacuum that everyone can use if they don't have their own. So we're going to start with the first apartment here, and I figured this would just be a good day to chill out and decorate. And I have skipped through some of the scrolling and the editing so that you're not here all day, because grab a drink and a snack and we're just going to get going here. So we have a nice couch here that I've probably used once before. You can see I've put a bookshelf over there and a table, which I'm so glad we can put in front of the doors now. What a space saver that's been, along with being able to tuck appliances and other things into these little alcoves, which I don't have any on this build, but I've just been so happy to be able to do that. And then I'm going to put a TV there, as you'll see, and I thought it needed a rug there just to kind of liven up the room and add some contrast. And then some lamps, or just 1 lamp actually, because I did not have room where it's a 4 square wide sofa to put 2 end tables, but I think 1 is just plenty. So next you'll see me just putting some finishing touches in this room. I thought this painting would look really pretty over the couch. It brings out the kind of pinkish red tones in that couch there. And next is going to be the bedroom for the first apartment. And I wanted to use this pink and purple bed. I love the gold accents on the headboard, and there's just a few gold accents there in the bedspread if you look really closely. And I thought the farmhouse dresser and nightstands would look really pretty to bring out that tone in the headboard, so I chose to use those, and I think that worked out great. So here you see me, I'm just going to add a stereo here. Instead of adding a TV, which is my kind of usual thing, I decided that older stereo looked really nice with that color of wood. That way everything was sort of brought together with the same tones. And I wanted to try to see if the herbs would go over the headboard there, but it just doesn't look good with this bed. The villa bed actually looks pretty good that way. So I'm turning on the lamps, and so far I was liking how the bedroom was turning out. Now keep in mind with this build, I didn't want to go overboard. I wanted to keep it really simple, because again this would be for singles or maybe a couple that are professionals. So there was not a lot of need for clutter in the apartments, or toys or anything like that. Just nice, simple apartment homes for professionals. And here I'm just adding the first closet here on this floor. And I decided, since I was going to make them the same for the other 2 floors, that I would just go ahead and put them in those 2 as well. So now the closets are all in place. The first apartment's starting to shape up. So I'm just adding the lighting here in the bathroom and in the closet. I like to use these. They're called party lights, but to me they really look like the recessed lighting in a normal home. So you can see me, I'm just lining everything up and adding that lighting into all of the floors, because again those are going to be the same as far as lighting goes. Because in apartments usually they follow a pattern. Sometimes the wall color is different in each apartment, but generally the flooring is all the same, as well as the kitchen countertops and bathroom fixtures and things like that. So here I'm decorating the first floor kitchen. I decided to use the gold coffee maker. I think it may be called Blonde, but I'm not sure. A microwave there and a pink flower. And I realized I need to turn it that way for it to look better. So the kitchen's starting to shape up there, and I'm just taking a look around to see what else I could maybe use to make it more home-like. And I decided to add some plants. I did build this on a small lot here, so there's not a lot of outdoor space, but you'd have to use your imagination that it's on such a beautiful lot that the sim could just use what's back there in the back with the nice forest and the scenery back there. And I'm just adding those same plants to the upper balconies on the other two apartments. That way the yellows are kind of balanced out and included on the back side of the building as well. So I'm just taking another look around, and I realize I probably need a rug for the bathroom just to make it more realistic, and I chose the gray rug. And then we're going to move upstairs to the second floor here and start on the living room. And I decided in this one to make the living room furniture laid out kind of differently than the first one, because in apartments, people are individuals, and I didn't just want to copy the furniture. I wanted it to, look like 3 different individuals lived in the apartments, because everybody has different styles. And I really love the love seat and that ottoman that matches. And I decided to put the kitchen table over here by the window and add those pretty gray and white French chairs because they match perfectly with that new love seat and ottoman. So now we have a dining area there that matches the living room furniture. And I decided I wanted to try to put maybe like a little end table here on the one side. So I chose the white because the furniture has a white base. And instead of putting a lamp on the table, I went for the gray floor lamp. And then I saw something else that I wanted to put downstairs. It looks like, yes, a trash can. And so far, I was liking the second floor living room. I like that plant there because it does have a little bit of gray in the vase, just enough to bring out the colors in the furniture. And you can see me here looking for a bookshelf. I opted to put one behind the love seat in the white, again to bring out that base color on the bottom of the furniture, and to put a pretty flower that sort of had the same colors as the vase on the opposite side of the room. And then I got distracted with the wine rack there and realized I wanted to put it in that kitchen. And I wanted to find a nice piece of artwork to go over the bookshelf. I like using this one because it brings out the blues and grays together. And then I wanted to use that green color for the walls because of the cushions on that love seat. So you'll see me a lot of times when I build, whether it's a Let's Decorate or just a regular build, I try to bring little pieces of color in a particular piece of furniture somewhere out into the rest of the room. I love color balance. That's just my style. But as you can see, the room is really coming together. It's simple, but it's very pretty. So I decided to move on to the second floor bedroom, and I wanted to use that bed because I had already chosen sort of a gray and green theme, and that furniture is just perfect for that sort of color scheme. And I chose the round side tables instead of the square ones, and then I put the beautiful little pink lamps there to bring out the pink on the bed, and of course the walls bring out the color on the bedspread as well. And then we have a pink and green flower to balance the colors out on the other side where the dresser is. I put a white computer in there because the other apartment doesn't have one. So when I make these sort of communal builds, I try to also balance out, necessities like electronics that they have to use, bookshelves, computers, phones, and things like that. Each one doesn't have to include everything, but in the build I like for it to be somewhere, if that makes sense. And then I decided to put the finishing touches on the kitchen here on the second floor. I used my favorite coffee maker, and I love that rug with that wall color, so I wanted to bring that into the kitchen. And then I wanted to choose a rug here for for this bathroom, I didn't like it this way. I wanted to line it up with the shower. And by the way, you probably noticed that I did that shower enclosure. I had done another one in a different style before, and then on one of Bedrock's videos, I saw she used those windows and that door, and that looks even more realistic. So now I'm kind of stuck on doing it that way. So again, finishing touches going here and there, and I decided in this bathroom to put not a tall cabinet because of the window, but I like that little short towel cabinet there. It looks really nice in bathrooms, especially ones that have some silver accents on it, so I chose that one. So this apartment's really shaping up. I'm liking how it looks so far, turning on lights, just making it look more home-like, and it looks like the second floor is ready to move in. So let's move up to the living room on the third floor. Again, I wanted to do something different than the other two floors, so I chose this couch, and I realized it's 4 wide and 2 thick, so 4 spaces wide and 2 spaces thick. So I'm thinking, well, where am I going to put a table? How am I going to fit this and how am I going to fit that? But I really wanted to use this couch, so I was kind of searching for a way to make it work with the room. I knew I couldn't put a table in the kitchen. So what I did was, since it's a single person living here anyway, just to line the table up with the window like I did on the second floor. But I don't need to put 4 chairs here. I decided to just put 2, and that's plenty for this little space. So then I decide what TV I want to choose, and I chose this new one with the dark blue on the base, and then I chose this rug because I thought it brought out the colors in the couch pillows, kind of balanced it out a little bit, and then that light is pretty much the same color as the rug, so I think it all goes together really, really well. And of course it looks better, the light against the wall, once you have wall color in, but I was using my imagination at this point to see how it would really look. So now I'm choosing a wall color, and I just decided to go with something really neutral and to put something a little colorful over the couch. And look how that pug picture matches the blues and pinks in that couch. I just love that. So I moved on to the kitchen, which is obviously pretty simple because I had already put them in, as a vacant apartment would. It would have a kitchen already installed. So now I'm just putting the little kitchen appliances in, and I chose a dark blue rug along with the blue flower vase on the counters there. And then moving on to the bedroom, I decided not to put a king bed in this one on the third floor. I chose the double urban bed, and it's matching night tables there. And instead of putting a dresser, I decided to do, which you've seen me done a few times, a built-in sort of cabinet area. So I used those older Japanese countertops and cabinets and just made a nice little wall unit there. And I put a TV on the opposite side of the bed there, and I wasn't quite sure what to do with the corner, so since there was already a TV, I put a stereo up here as well, because on the second floor we have a computer. And I chose these just plain white French lamps to bring out the white in the bed, and then I wanted to put a clothes hamper in the closet there. So I want to spice it up a little, but not too much, so I put a little flower arrangement there in the middle of the cabinet, and I decided it was time to choose the wall color. Again, very neutral, just like in the living room, and I just started bringing that through the whole apartment, because honestly, most apartments are like this. You have very, very neutral wall colors and floor colors, but I did decide to change all of the tile in the bathtub enclosures to that white tile to make it more realistic. And you saw me put a little flower hanging on the wall, and I chose this rug with the dark browns and white in it to sort of bring that color scheme from the bedroom into the bathroom. So now I'm just turning on the lamps here and checking things out and seeing if they are as I like them, and I do. So again, just looking, and I realized at that point that I had forgotten a wall color in the kitchen, but I do go back and fix that. I got distracted by those little keypads because I thought that would be a great addition to an apartment, almost like when you can enter your apartment using a code, so that would be pretty cool. So I put it outside all the front doors, and then of course I dropped in phones in the kitchens of all 3 apartments, as you see me doing there. And then next I'm looking around just a little bit more, and that's when I go back and fix the wall color in the kitchen, because I often forget little things like that when I get distracted, but thank goodness I remembered it. And I'm looking around at the third floor and liking what I'm seeing, just looking and making sure everything's nice and balanced out and looks realistic. So I decided to move down to the basement to the storage lockers, but before that I of course got distracted by the cleaning caddy there. So I had nothing that it would actually sit on, so I put it in the middle of the floor temporarily while I added some items to the storage lockers, like the trunk that you saw there, and then I got distracted by the mirror, realizing it would go great in the lobby up there. And then I'm back to decorating the storage closets. How realistic is this? I mean, really, if you go downstairs in a lot of apartments' basements that have these storage lockers, you'll see instruments of some sort that people just gave up playing. So I decided to put a drum set down there and some weights, because who doesn't have spare weights sitting around somewhere? And then an old exercise bike, of course, and an old record player. And then I wanted to put something kind of funky in there. I did put a little tree there, almost, I wanted it to look like a little Christmas tree. And then I got distracted by the garbage, because of course you need that for everyone to take their garbage down to the basement. And then I put that little fire monkey statue in there, because no one would really want that in their apartment. So that is the basement so far. And we have, of course, the washer and dryer down there. But I wanted something to put that cleaning caddy on, so I grabbed one of those little cabinets with a basket in it, and then I added some track lighting there in the laundry and freezer area, along with just putting some lighting here and there in the basement. I decided to leave the storage lockers dark, because that's kind of typical too. Sometimes you'll see a light in them, but sometimes not, so I just left it like that. So that is what it looks like so far. I'm really pleased with the parking lot. I know the landscaping isn't very typical for me. There is a lot more than I usually do out front, but I wanted the building to really stand out, and I wanted to do that nice stone exterior with some yellow colors for some reason. That's just what I was in the mood to do, and I wanted to light it up there on the back. So you see me adding some exterior lighting there and making it night just to see what it looks like. And actually I decided to take those brown and black lamps out. I know it lit it up pretty well, but I thought it was just a little bit too much, so you'll see me in a minute taking those off, so just know those are temporary, but that's what it looks like so far. So making it day again, and I really like how this turned out. Now you're going to see me taking off the lighting here in just a second, I think during the final tour. But let's go through the apartments just as if the video was just coming on and I was touring it with you. So we've already decorated it. We're going to take a quick final look of it. That's the front. Of course, we have the side. All the windows do line up, which is pretty easy to do when you do a communal build like this. And the floor plans are generally the same on each floor. But of course we have the entrance here, the main entrance, and the beautiful yellow flowers. And then we have the stairwell here that goes all the way from the basement up to the third floor. Then we have the first floor entrance to the apartment here with the living room. Everything's nice and balanced out. The colors I think are balanced well, nice and simple. And then of course we have the kitchen over here. And I like, you know how much I like that chalet kitchen. It really goes in almost any style home, not just modern. And we have the bedroom here with the pinks and purples and the light brown colored furniture. And let's open up the window there so they can see out into the parking lot. And then we have the bathroom here. And then next door to that we have the closet. I like how these little bathrooms turned out too. Just a little closet there. See, these are nothing fancy, but I think this might be a keeper, at least for a while. I think I'm going to move. I have two Sims that I definitely could move in here who are single. And I don't know about the third apartment. I would have to see. I could move Louisa over, the senior lady that I have in my town, because I have her somewhere temporary right now, so I may actually move her over here too. But we're just taking a look around at the second floor, and I really am liking how this came together. If you guys really like these types of videos, I had a good response on the last one that I did. It was a much smaller build, of course, but I had a lot of people saying that they like these Let's Decorate videos. Now, I don't do many Let's Builds or live builds, or I know a lot of channels do those, but if you've been with my channel for a while, you know the way I build. I don't ever, rarely plan a building out like I did this, or a house. Typically when I build, I literally start with a room, completely decorate it, and then just keep adding on, decorating that one, adding on, and how the house comes out is a surprise. Now this one is different, of course. I didn't do a room by room build on this one. So since I don't go back and redo my builds, that's why I like to show the grid after my typical builds on my videos. But I had a lot of people say that they really like these kind where I already have it built and I just decorate it. So if you do, let me know, and I will actually try to start doing these maybe once every 2 weeks or so. I really wouldn't mind doing that once I've built a house. If I haven't done it room by room and it's not decorated, I really don't mind doing that. So just let me know about that. So we're finishing up the tour here. We're looking at the basement. Again, I really like this. And I really might use it. Some of the builds that I do, well, I want to say many of the builds that I do, I don't actually use them, as in I don't move my families in, because I'm building them for someone on my, in my subscribers who request it. So, I don't really have a use for a lot of my builds, but I enjoy doing them because they help you guys out if you want something in particular. And you'll see me taking those lights off. I decided I didn't like them. But some of the builds, I play my game, so I use them. So this may be a useful build. If you like this, please give this a like. It helps me out a lot. You guys don't know how much I appreciate you. I really, really do. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this if you hung in this long. Take care, and I will see you next time.